100%.
You've got Aaron and no one else. Paul Swift calls me Big Bobby LGBT. There was a person who had a proper breakdown. It was hilarious.
Your wanks are so well thought out. It sounds like graft.
I just think it's funny. It's not that I'm attracted to men. Why do you want to be on telly? It's like, because then I can't piss myself in Benidorm twice a year. That's what I do now. It's going to be dead hard as it was to do this, you know. I tried to get him yesterday to fill in for me. And he was like, no, I've got to get Lucy. He was like, lad, though, can't be asked to do another podcast. And I was like, why? He's like, I'm fucking sick of chat. I'm just sick of it. I just want to sit in silence and be left alone.
Genuinely, that is my entire outlook on life, though. Like, I'm the most miserable bellwith. For 25 years old, you'd think I was like 60.
Yeah.
Like, Beth will come in after like a day at work or whatever. She's like, how was your day? And I'm like, same as every other day.
Yeah.
Like, what are we having this conversation for?
Oh,
like, I love you, but
can we just exist next to
I'm
each
the
other?
same. I had to tell my bird to stop asking me.
yeah.
Like, when you get home, stop asking how my day was. She's like, why is it? 'Cause it's nothing happened.
I hated it when I was a kid, though. Mum would be like, how's school? It was school. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm so fucking miserable, man. I
You don't want that answer. You don't want the real answer.
Yeah,
I was school. Well, I was bullied for 6 hours, and then I just fucking walked around on my own. What the fuck do you think happened? Leave me a fucking alone. Just be depressed at home, will you?
Is that pretty much what your school life was like? Yeah.
No, well, pretty much.
Yeah.
It wasn't miles away from
what
it.
school
Like,
did you go to?
I went to two different ones. So I went to in high school. I went to Holy Family for a couple of years. I went to Merchant Sailors.
Okay.
Merchant Sailors is like a private school. So like I went there in third
Well,
third
have
year.
money.
Yeah, fucking
no,
grammar
I
school,
didn't.
Rob.
Fucking Rishi Sunak here.
It's going for free.
Big Bobby Sunak.
I didn't have to pay. I didn't have to pay nothing. I was a genius. That's
Did
the
you
thing.
pass the 11 plus? Yeah.
Well, I didn't have 11 plus. I'm not that old, mate. But I got top marks in my sats, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we started, by the way. Just go.
Yeah,
we never
sweet.
introduce
We don't do an
anyone.
introduction.
All right,
We
sound.
just chat. It's boring
Sweet.
as fuck,
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. So I went to Holy Family, which is like just a normal comp, bit rough, and then I went to Merchant Sailors. Basically, what happened was I wasn't doing anything in Holy Family. Like, I wasn't doing any work, and the teachers kept every parent even. But I've had this since I was 6. Every report I've ever had.
6 years old.
Every report I've ever had is Robert is more than capable of like anything, but he just doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, but
And
that's,
like,
I don't necessarily
that's
feel
most
that's
comics,
true.
isn't it?
Yeah. No, I don't even know if that's true though, because the teacher's never going to be like, no, he's actually not capable, and he also doesn't apply
it was
himself.
true in my case.
Oh man, what
'Cause
about distraction? You know, distracting other people. Like my grades were all right, but I was like affecting the people around me.
Yeah,
by chatting shit. Yeah.
I just wouldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
So I'd do everything last week. I do all my own work on the bus and shit like that, and like I'd be all right. Like, but like honestly, it sounds arrogant, but it was the case for me. So like, I think that there was 2 things that made me leave like the normal school. One was some lad thought I called his brother a nonce, and his brother was a nonce. And I got dead
Not
upset.
surprised if you're at private schools.
No, this is before private school. This is why I had to go. So this lad got dead upset because his brother was a nonce. But he was getting done for being a nonce. And for some reason, he thought I'd called his brother a nonce and told the whole school.
Are you outed it?
Yeah, apparently I outed it, but it wasn't. I don't know where he got it from. So me and him, he was determined he was going to fight me. So literally every single break, and me and him ended up having a fight. Until to the point where they had to make him go home because he only lived around the corner from school. They made him go home every lunchtime and every break time because otherwise we'd just fight. And like he was adamant he was going to fight me as well. Like they pulled us in and was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Going, I don't know." Like he comes up to me every break and lunch and starts throwing digs at me. What do you want me to do? And he pulled him in and he went, "What's going on?" He's like, "Every time I see him, I'm going to fight him." And it's like fucking hell. So that was like the final straw. But the bit before that was the teacher pulled my parents in. I was like, yeah, you're Robert. You're Robert. I think we need to do something about him. And I was like, and they were like, oh, why? And he's like, well, give me this piece of homework. And he was like, that's top marks, that miss, nice one. And walked out, dead cocky. And she went, so I went to market and I'm looking to like, I said, I went to market thinking he's just being a dickhead. Oh, well, she obviously never said that, but like thinking he's just being a divvy. But she went, no, it was top marks. And it's like, but all that
The
says...
confidence of that.
Yeah, but she said, all that says to me is he knows exactly what to do and how to do it. He just doesn't. And like, yeah, and that's when my dad tried to throttle me once. My dad tried to throttle me.
Took a left
He did, yeah, my dad. My dad, like, I don't know if I've told the full story. I've told the story before, but literally, my dad took me down to the beach, and like,
he was gonna fucking bury you.
Was gonna bury me. My dad took me down to the beach.
a fucking big hole.
I was like, listen, what the fuck's going on? And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, and like, he said to me, what are you doing? And like, the reason he took. Basically, he said, "Why don't you try harder? Why don't you just try a bit harder if you can do it?" And I was like, "What's the point in like trying hard and getting like an A when I can just not do any work and get a C?"
Exactly. Yeah.
And apparently his head was just exploding then. so then after all that happened, they were like, "Oh, well, maybe try and change schools, see if that works." And so they
did it.
They did. It never worked. It never worked at all.
Turns out it's not the people that have been, they've been training for this moment. It's not their fault. It's actually yours. So
I'm just lazy,
The root cause of it.
lazy, and just narcissistic. So I'm like, so I'm just.
Has anything changed?
No, it's exactly the same now. I wish it had. The thing is, I will work when I'm passionate about something.
Yeah,
so like I've always like tried hard at comedy and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm so bad. Like the amount of jobs that like I just take the piss. Always just took the piss. Like I got sacked after the day once. I was working for the sign makers when I was 16.
Working where? Sorry.
At a sign makers.
Oh, okay.
And my dad had got me the job. It was only meant to be like a little summer thing. And I think every time he come back, like we're in this room, like he told me what to do, and every time he come in, I was just sitting down. And it was before I had phones or anything like that. I was just staring at walls.
So
I'd just be sitting down. Yeah, I'd just be sitting down, staring at the wall, and I'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just doing this." I'm just fucking
chilling.
Yeah, it's just I like the thought of actual work gives me anxiety. Sort of. I need a little break, sort of thing. But yeah,
don't even want to do stand up. It's just the only job where you can work for 20 minutes a night.
That's what it is. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's the only job where I can get all the adoration that I require and do no work for.
Yeah.
People heap praise on you, and when the reality you've done fuck all.
Yeah, how long have you been gigging?
So 12 years. Yeah, 2010. 30th November 2010 was my first gig.
That's very specific. At what time? About 8:15?
Yeah, about 8:15. I think I was on stage at 9:05. I think that probably was when I was on stage as well.
There's a gong show. It was off at 6 minutes past.
That's true.
Was
that a gong show? You meant to do 8 minutes. Raw I'd Raw, it was called. You meant to do 8 minutes and I'd done 6 minutes and didn't get gonged off. I just ran out of stuff to say.
Talk about,
But like, I won the gong show as well.
Much like your school
First
life,
time?
you underachieved.
First time I won the gong show. First gig, first time. But I didn't win it.
No.
What had happened was there was 30 people in the audience and 28 of them had come from an internet social group. You know, where they go on, you might go online to meet a bird now. They went online to meet friends. Every month, one of the person in that group organised something for all the group to do. And this one person organised going to Raw I'd Raw.
So it was like one vote.
So like, no, yeah, basically. So everyone else had like come on and done stuff about being bullies or taking the piss out of people or like skitting fat people and all that. And I'd come on just dead nervous and just like just the shittest jokes ever sort of thing that I'd like. You know, when everyone starts, you just start with dead like shit jokes that you think. Like, and I just done that. And my leg was shaking and all that. So they just felt sorry for me and then cheered me on.
Yeah.
So like a just absolute false hope.
Did you take the win though?
Of course. Like I say, one first gig, first gong show in, easy.
One of the worst things that I ever did. I wasn't even on stage, but I went down. It was at Beat the Frog, and I'd gone down to do one of the 8-minute spots at the top of the show. And then I was with Beth, and we just stuck around to watch the show. And I'd done my second ever gig at the Frog.
Yeah.
And I'd a proper howler, like I forgot all my stuff, and everyone started like cheering and really like got behind me and stuff. Do you know like they do when you fucking they could see it's like your first one, just to give me a second to remember my stuff, and I didn't. It was all fine. This guy goes up. This is like a year after. This guy goes up and he's just having a stinker. Can't remember his stuff. So I cheered for him in the same way they did me. But no one joined in. So he's dead silent. And I went, woo! And then, so he stopped. He stopped and sort of looked at me because no one joined in. It looked like I was taking the piss out of him. And I woke up. I've woke up at like 5 a.m. thinking about that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
is he still gigging?
Oh, I've no idea. I've never seen him.
Right.
I think,
where was he from?
I've not. I thought no. It was like 2 years ago.
Was he from Manchester?
You don't know with the Frog. Stayed
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm wondering whether they all supported you because you like got the accent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whether it was one of them, like, oh, he's a local lad. Let's wish him to do well.
Yeah.
And then you just completely misjudged it.
Yeah.
Some scouser on stage and they're all just fucking hating him anyway. And you're like, hey, made up, he's dying.
Oh, it was fucking. I felt horrendous. Like Beth was like, "Why did you do that?" Like a proper ick. Do you know what I mean? I was like, trying to get behind him. He was like, "Well, it didn't look that way. It didn't look like you were trying to help him."
Oh, that'd be a boss ick. That is
horrible.
Yeah.
He gave me the ick. Why? Because he was supportive.
Yeah.
Do you start many claps? Have you ever like gone for it and started a clap?
Huh?
So like at a show or something, if you enjoy something.
Oh, if my mate's on and it's a comp, like you get the fucking, you rally the audience for them.
Oh, you're a rat.
Yeah.
I used to hate
I was at a gig, I tried to start a clap, right, but I shit out halfway and it just had the opposite effect.
Sucks all the energy out of the room.
I'm less confident as an audience member as I am as a comedian. I just didn't have the fucking balls to go for it.
Just commit.
I don't want them to know I like it. Shit myself.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried. I don't think I've ever clapped anything.
Just like a
Not even your mate on stage.
I'm too lazy to clap. Like, just fuck hard. Honestly,
As he's
sometimes
walking
I feel bad. Like, sometimes people clap like, oh shit, yeah, I should be clapping, shouldn't I? It's just like, oh yeah.
It's like, do you know the way, like, we obviously, like you were saying before, it's the quickest and easiest way to get validation for you doing stand-up. We obviously like getting up and telling jokes in front of people. There's people out there that feel the same way about going to a footy game and starting a chant.
Yeah, I used to do that as a kid.
Did you? Yeah. Is that how you got your kick?
And I'm the gimp.
I've been going to match since I was 6, so like, yeah, I used to look. Well, what was it? Yeah, 5.
Did you write the songs and that?
No, but like
he wasn't even writing his schoolwork. Yeah. He's not writing chants, is he?
Yeah, but no,
I don't know what happened. So.
Yeah, I used to when I was a kid though, like because I was young going to match and then everyone would join in because you're a kid.
Yeah,
they don't want to leave a kid out on his own and I'd feel a boss. It's probably why I wanted to end up start doing stand.
Yeah.
Shit like that's probably just bled. That's why I did schoolwork as well. Cause shit like that's bled into me to think I don't need to do this. I've got millions of people of adoration out there waiting for me.
Bootleg you, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you identify as a Scouser?
Yes. My wheelie bin might be grey, but I identify as purple.
I'm only asking because like I'm from Wallasey, obviously. I get called a wool all the time.
Yeah.
But I like worked in Bootle for a long time. And
where did you work? Triad?
I don't want to say because I still work there. I just work from
Still work in
home.
Bootle?
Well, I'm out of Bootle, but I work from home.
You can give me a lift, you rat. And you pay petrol to get here, you cunt. Fucking working around the corner from my house.
I used to get called a wool all the time, and I'd try and make the argument that people from Bootle are wolves as well.
No, that's just a silly argument though, innit? Because Bootle's probably the Scousers' place in Liverpool. It's just when they were on the council for decided to ruin it all.
But it's a different council though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Sefton Council, like. Yeah,
council, different town hall.
I understand that's silly argument, but it's not though, is it? Bootle's very much Liverpool. Like it was Liverpool sort of thing, and then when they split the councils up, but it's just one of them things. It's like an argument Wolves make, sort of like, oh, Bootle's on Liverpool. Shut up.
When you say an argument Wolves make, like people like you mean?
No.
This is what every time like I try and bring it up.
Well, yeah, because like you're gonna have what you're saying. Some come from Knowsley, who might have a street inside that's a purple bin. Can say he's more Scouse than I am. Fuck off.
I think he actually can though.
No, he can't. No, see, when you're arguing technicalities, that's a wool thing to do, isn't it?
Is it?
Scouse is not going to argue technicalities. Like, clinging on to things like that's a wool trait. That's why you're a wool.
Do you reckon what I get a lot as well is, like, oh, what's your postcode? Because it's a CH postcode in Wallasey now. It used to be an L, but it got changed. But then, like, so's fucking Skem and St. Helens, so they used their wolves.
What, St. Skem's PR, innit?
No, it's L. So it's L and WA, I think, yeah.
Oh, it's LM.
Yeah, I've done the research, lad. I used to get shit all the time, and I'd get the same response, basically just, yeah, but you're a wall, so shut up.
Yeah.
And I've got
well, see, I'm L20, so there's places that are like L37 that are next to town and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think L37 is, but there's places next to town that are like L something 30.
Like I'm not someone who, I'm not bothered about being from Wallasey, and I'm not like, oh, please.
You are a little bit because you brought it up.
No,
I never brought it up. I think it does hurt you a little bit, doesn't it? No. I think the problem is you feel left out, don't you?
Yeah, that's what
because you see all those Scouse comedians and you think they've got a little clique and I'm not allowed to be involved.
'Cause I'm a wolf.
And you see all the mancs and you're like, well, I'm not a mank either.
100%.
So, like, so you haven't got yourself a little clique.
It's 100%.
You've got Aaron and no one else. And that's what you get. That's what you.
He's a
That's
mank
why you're
wolf.
bringing it up with me. Because you're being like, well, if you're a wool, if Bobby's a wool, then maybe I can use that to get in with all the Scouse comics. And you can't, no. So I'm not going to validate you. Go fuck yourself, no.
This is great. This is a fly on the wall situation.
I know
Carry on.
exactly what's going through his head, yeah. He's thinking if he can bring me down a peg, he might be able to get himself a little group, and you can't, you're on your own. Go fuck yourself.
I grew up
car shares on your own.
I grew up closer to the city centre than you did. I literally
you didn't.
right outside the tunnel. I
do you mean
could
right
see from the top of my mum's road.
Do you know
I could
how long
see
the tunnel is?
waterfront. Mile?
4 miles it is.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, do you know how far Bootle is from town?
Go on.
2.
As the crow flies.
As the crow flies,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck off. I'm just going to believe you, but I don't know. I don't know if these are actual facts.
I don't know myself. I knew you wouldn't argue with me.
Oh, fucking hell. After all that...
Do you have this in... Well, you have Stockport, don't you?
Yeah, I've
Stockport,
got
yeah.
Stockport, but the difference between me and Liam is I don't really give a fuck.
Right,
So
yeah.
I just crack on with my life.
I don't give a... It's not
You
that
do.
I,
You
yeah.
clearly tell you do.
I don't mind being a wall. It's just being constantly reminded of it by
Right.
walls. That upsets
By
me.
wolves.
Yeah, yeah.
Like-
Well, a boot.
Oh, yes. Silly argument.
Well, you're probably wondering why it's such a short episode. It's
Yeah. I
very
don't mind because
tense
you can
in
say
it.
it all you want. Doesn't bother me. Like, but
you sure? It seems like it does.
no, it's just
To be
silly,
honest, I
man.
knew I wouldn't win an argument against you. You strike me as someone who can win an argument. Is that like one of your talents?
Grok privilege, yeah. I that's what I mean, because I think, you know, everyone was going on about having privileges, weren't they? Like a few years ago, we got to recognise your white privilege, and then everyone like Love Island, people were like, you'll go recognise your pretty privilege and all that, and I was like, oh, well, I haven't got a privilege that I realised I have. Like, I don't queue. I don't ever queue. I just bunk queues and no one says nothing. I just go and stand at the front and no one ever calls me out on it. And it's funny, and like once now and again you'll get someone
Probably
who
a wolf.
wants to be
Yeah,
brave,
yeah.
who goes, oh, if you start back here or something, you just go, yeah, I don't know, mate, and then nothing happens.
Oh,
Like, there's no consequences to it. So like, I realised then I've got grok privilege. Like, I can get away with murder, like with stuff like I say, I don't ever queue. I don't think what else I get away with. Yeah, it's just sound. People don't argue. People assume that you can fight, you can't fight. Like, people aren't going to bother with you. Yeah. Be
like when you were telling the story about being 6 before, I still imagined you built like this.
Yeah. You said, well, I noticed when you said, oh, you need a big hole for Crosby Beach sort of thing. When we went down to there, I was skinny as fuck when I was like,
Were you really?
yeah. So it's like, yeah. But I didn't want to correct you. I thought, let you have your fat jokes.
That's all this is.
Yeah, you haven't got many jokes to have, so.
Liam Bolton fucking pointed out about fucking... I heard that as well. Go fuck yourself. Liam Bolton said about... What was it? About 2 weeks ago now that he's listened to a few episodes of this, and it just seems like all it is just me and him trying to get one up on each other for the entire...
Yeah, but that's
just toxic masculinity,
That's
innit?
most podcasts. That's all mine was. He says mine was. He's just eventually which one who's going to be the first to have the breakdown. Like, that's all it is.
Constantly pushing each other
Yeah,
towards
which
it.
one was got the breakdown and why is there a bitter level of resentment between the two of them? Like, the amount of people who've commented on our pod, I got them two don't get on. Like, it's like, no, them two just don't get on. It's like everyone else seems to get on with the co-host. It's like, I don't think they're friends, you know. I don't think they speak outside of the pod. And you're right, we don't.
Has he ever proper pushed your buttons? Like, has he ever got?
No, because I think he knows I do everything. So he's like,
I was just going to ask that as well. Yeah, I'll
Whereas
just share the workload.
I just do everything. I'm a control freak.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so it's not that like he won't.
It's not that he won't. No, he probably he wants to, because you can basically the first couple of months of us starting, you could see the little sort of like wanting to challenge. Like I was taking a piss going, how many alpha? You just do as you're told. And like he'd want to challenge it, and you could see after a couple of he was like, actually, if I challenge it, I've got to actually do something. So so like he can just tell you never. Whereas I am a control freak. I just like to. I can't bear incompetence. Yeah. If someone's not doing it the way I want to do it, I'll just assume they're incompetent.
It's fucking bold of you to say after your childhood.
Yeah.
That's bad incompetence.
That's my problem though. I was never incompetent. I wish I was, so then I'd have an excuse. I was just lazy as fuck. I even am now. It upsets me. I don't want to be like, you know when when Fitbits come out.
Yeah.
My wife got a Fitbit, and like I used to just assume I'd done 10,000 steps easy. Like when they brought out, when they brought out, the average is 10,000 steps. I was like, yeah, sound, I smashed that. I must smash that. Like it wasn't taking into account that I was a fat cunt. I was just assuming I do 10,000 steps easy. And then people always say, you must eat loads. You and I always be like, nah, my diet's sound. I don't know what it is. Don't know why I'm fat. I must have been binging. But no, what I realised what it was is that she got a Fitbit. And she's a teacher, and she walks loads, and she's going, I'm only on 8,000, I have to go and walk for a bit to try and get to 10,000. And I realised if she's only getting to like 7 or 8 without trying, I must never reach 1,000. Because it was at the time when I was working full-time in the cabs, I'd get out of bed, I'd walk downstairs, and it was before we had the baby, so I'd walk downstairs, I'd lie on the couch for half an hour, and then I'd get off the couch, walk to the taxi, go and sit in a taxi for 8 hours, and I wouldn't get out my taxi to talk to anyone, and I wouldn't even get out to go and get food. I could the Mackey's drive-through or something because I couldn't be arsed getting out my taxi. And then
84 steps you're up to so far.
Exactly. This is what I mean. Literally. And I was raking in my head thinking, I reckon I don't even make a couple of hundred some days. And I could drive my taxi park outside my house, get out my taxi, walk to the kitchen, cook the tea, then walk from the kitchen to the living room and lie on the couch for another 4 hours.
You'll only hit 90 steps if you forget your fork. Go back in to get it.
Here's how lazy it is. I drink red wine. I don't like red wine. And I drink red wine just because I can leave it in the living room with me. So I don't have to go to the kitchen.
You don't have to. You can have it at room temperature.
So I honestly don't like red wine, but I drink it all the time because you can just put it next to you. And so I'd rather suffer with a shitter drink and just get it down my neck than have to go to the fridge and get a cold beer.
So you were saying before about like your missus being more active and that at work.
Yeah.
Do you ever get into it? Because I sit down a lot for my job.
Yeah.
And do you ever get into the argument where she's like, you've done nothing? Like, Joe, just because your job sat down and she's on her feet all day. Just like,
what do you mean, like, done nothing?
Like, I feel like my missus works in a warehouse, and because I'm sat down,
yeah,
but I'm like concentrating loads, like I work in, like it's like an office.
Oh, she makes out that you do fuck all.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. My bird does that now. Yeah. So like with the pod, I'll edit our pod, and I like.
It's mind numbing, isn't it?
Yeah. Like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are my days for editing. So I'll go and do like a little contract job that I've got, and that finishes at like 10 o'clock. So I'll sit down and my head will go on the laptop and it won't come out again until I've got to go and get the baby or go and do my other job, which will be about 4 or 5 hours later. And she thinks just because I'm at home I don't do anything.
Yeah.
So she'll be like, why can't you do them jobs? I'm like, because I've got to do this. Yeah, but you can just do them jobs while you're in the house. Like, just because I'm in the house doesn't mean I'm free. Yeah. But she won't have it. She just thinks because I'm home that I'm fine to be doing anything.
The reason I brought it up, I want you to argue with my missus.
With your missus? Yeah, but like what she's saying is she works harder than you, and it's probably true though, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Right, without being hard ass, it's probably true, because let's be honest, like as much as you're saying you're sitting there constantly, you do fuck all, aren't you really?
Yeah, but it does wreck your head. Yeah,
it wrecks your head a little bit, but it's like stand-up where someone goes, oh, you... Yeah, like I used to argue with my mates to be going, fucking hell. Like when you tell your mates, like, oh, I got this to go and stand on stage for 20 minutes, and they go, fucking hell. And you're like, fucking easy that, and then you try and go, yeah, but I used to drive like 5 hours to Aberystwyth to do 5 minutes because I've had to work hard to get where I am, and you realise it's not that hard. Yeah.
But it's the time off stage as well, isn't it?
The hardest thing about hard, the hardest thing about our job is just how much it plays with your fucking mental health. Once you got that solid, you sound.
If she's got jobs that she wants you to do, then, and obviously you're doing all the editing. Feels like for me the obvious answer is to get Wozniak round to do your washing. He said he wanted to help.
I know, but then I'd have to spend more time with him, wouldn't I?
Yeah, you can't really go on the pod and be like, what have you been up to?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, well, I was at yours washing your drawers.
What have you been up to? Your whites. That's what I've been up to.
You used to do Patreon and that now, don't you?
Yeah, have you not Patreon yet? No.
Last time I saw you was after you had recorded a Patreon special and you were all bladdered in hot water, and you were shouting, you were bladdered just shouting at me, subscribe to me Patreon or fuck off. And I was like,
we've done like a couple of Patreons, and like every one we've got bladdered on, and the last one we've done was a Monopoly one, and we recorded it 3 months ago.
It's like you're trying to stop the podcast.
It is, because we recorded it 3 months ago and we still haven't put it out. Because of how much anxiety we've got over how pissed we were. Like, Wozniak only finished watching it last week. So last week he finished watching it and then gave me the edit points. And I was like, right, sound. And so it took us 3 months to put it out just because we couldn't bear to watch ourselves be so bladdered and obnoxious. And like doing things like, just doing things like that. And so like, it happened last, so that must have been the first one we done. I remember I got told off. Apparently, I was bullying an act called Aaron Woods.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was fucking bullying him. Someone told me
on
off.
the Patreon.
No, just after it. We just went to hot water, bladdered, and I think I just saw him there and decided I'm going to home in on this cunt, and just started just giving him abuse. And everyone was like saying he was like a rabbit in headlights. He didn't know what to do, and that just encouraged me more, sort of thing. So like, yeah, and then the second one we done. Again, we got bladdered, went back to hot water, and it was closed. The staff were coming out and going to the bar next door. So the staff come out and went to the bar next door with us. And when I get pissed, I get a bit, well, they call me, Paul Smith calls me Big Bobby LGBT. Because when I get pissed, I just start forcing myself on lads. So I was going around necking all the bar staff in hot water, and I wouldn't give them a choice. Like just grabbing them and necking them, and like you say, again, grok privilege. They couldn't back out of it because I was just grabbing them by the head and just sticking my tongue down the throat.
I don't know if you know
which
this.
I'm pretty sure is sexual harassment, but no one's reported me yet.
I don't know if you know this. Me and Liam went to see Adam's tour show at the Phil.
Oh, you grass.
Oh yeah, Paul Smith.
And Paul Smith told that story, and I nudged Liam about 4 minutes into it, going, "Oh, I've heard about this. He's talking about Rob Thomas."
Yeah,
so
and
much
there was like
funnier,
a couple of people behind me who watched the pod or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, it's Rob Thomas." Whatever. I was just like laughed about it, and then fucking like 3 minutes later, Paul said your name on stage. Which was probably part of it.
This is on camera now, Paul, so you're fucked. Because I've been waiting to catch him out to sue him for liability, right? So you're liable now, Paul.
In Paul's defence, every fucker in the room knew it was about you.
The thing is, everyone knows it's about me, and it's not just about me. Which is the horrible part is, right? So he tells it in like
lead you on.
He tells it in 3 stages. So the first stage is about me, like the big audible or one who wants to be an alpha male. That's me, and then it's like. That's clearly me, sort of thing. The thing that annoys me about that bit as well is he says I'm 25 stone and I'm not. He's put 3 stone on me. That pisses me off. Like I saw him live and I was fucking fuming about it. I was like, if you're gonna tell everyone, then I'm fucking handsy and I'm gay. At least
get my figure right.
At least don't put 3 stone on me as well. Like you're gonna fucking insult me.
Do you know the best part is though? He says 25 stone, and everyone looks at you and goes,
yeah, exactly.
all right.
Well, this is the thing. I used to have a joke about that. I'm like, I'm a level. I don't know if you're at that. No offense, Liam. I don't know if you're this. I don't know if you're this level of fat. Yeah, like, but I'm at a level of fat where people don't understand what I could weigh or like what I am. So I could, and people don't understand. People just just see me as fat now.
Yeah.
So I could lose like 3 stone, and people could see me and be like, "Oh, you look amazing," or I could lose nothing, and they'll see me and go, "Oh, you look amazing," just because they think like they just don't understand how fat I am. They just see in their head fat Rob. So I don't have to lose weight sometimes for validation. I just have to tell people I'm losing weight. So if I put on my Facebook, I'm going to the gym trying to lose weight. The next time people see me, they just go, "Oh, you've lost loads of weight," and I might not have lost a single pound. And people just think I'm fat in my head, and they just go, "Oh, I can see it in your face," and it's like, "I can see it in your eyes. You haven't got a fucking clue. You're just trying to be dead nice." And that's all. So I just tell people now, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to lose weight." Everyone tells you how good you look. It's just pop up a validation.
I've never weaponized it like that, but I am at that level of fat where if you haven't seen someone for like couple of weeks.
Oh, you've lost weight.
You're losing loads of weight.
I'm just massive in your head.
You're on a diet.
Yeah.
I'm just massive
in your head. I'm just massive. Like, so it doesn't matter when you see me. When you see me and you think I look normal, you go, "Oh, you lost weight." It's like, no, I'm normal. I'm not grotesquely fat. But you just see me as being massive in your head. I do it all the time. Like I do it with Freddie Quinn. Every now and again, I'll see Freddie Quinn go, "Oh, he looks all right," and I go, "Oh no," and just in my head, he's even fatter than what he is. In my head, he's grotesque. It's like.
Yeah, when Hutchie came.
So anyway, it's Paul was telling this story. Right. No, I want to get this out. I want to get this out, right? So the first part.
This for the teaser if you want.
Is about
Paul
me.
In it.
Fuck Paul.
Sounds like you probably would if you had a few drinks.
Not a would, I could. He's not my type. I like them pretty.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I do. Anyway, the first part is about me. If you've seen the bit, the first part is about me. And then it goes to be about him. And then it goes to be about somebody else. I don't want to say who the other person is because it's our ass. But yeah, it's 3 different
Who
people.
was it?
Oh, but you're taking the rap for everyone.
It's 3 different people, but he said it's just funnier when it's me. He said it's just funnier when it's me. So like the bit where like it wasn't me who was overheating, surprisingly, even though like it is me who sweats when he walks up the stairs. When in fact no, that was Freddie. Freddie fucking walked up the stairs and got out of breath, and it was hilarious. But like, it is me. Like, I do sweat. I'm probably sweating halfway through this podcast. I do sweat dead easy. But like, so that was me.
You're in flip flops and still sweating.
I dress like this all year round. Like,
yeah.
But like,
your tan dead well.
but the person who was overheating was Paul. He had to wet and tea towel. You look on the photos. The wet tea towels was Smith. He was overheating. Like, it was him who had to put it on himself. He had to cool himself down, not me. But again, for him, it wasn't because he was fat. It was because he takes loads and loads of drugs. That's what it was. It was all the drugs fighting each other in his body. And then
anxiety sweats.
And the person who had a breakdown was somebody else. But like I say, it's not fair for me to say who it is. I'll tell you off.
Yeah, I was going to say like, on mic.
Right, we're going to take a quick break.
There was a person who had a proper breakdown, and it was hilarious.
That's so toxic. Sounds like the most. So we're going on his stag in fucking September.
Yeah. Where you going?
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. We're in a group chat for it, and obviously I know.
Right.
And it's cost me a fucking fortune.
Somewhere good.
It's all right. Sound, yeah. I mean, it's no way like outside of the.
Why
the
why doesn't he know? I never got that. I think that's
I don't know.
That's wool behaviour. It is not. Oh, we're gonna trick him. It's gonna be one of 5 places, isn't it?
What 5 places?
It's gonna be like Amsterdam, Ibiza, or somewhere. Like, it's gonna be like Magaluf. Like,
it's none of those.
Benidorm, somewhere lads. It's gonna be somewhere lads go on holiday.
It's none of those.
If it's not, it's gonna be shit then.
Where did you go?
You should
for Paul's stag do.
What?
Where did you go for Paul's stag do?
For Paul's stag do, we went to a castle in Stirling.
There you go.
Yeah, but let's be honest. The reason we went to go to Ibiza. And then the pandemic happened. And then when we went to rebook, Paul went, lads, I can't go to Ibiza. Because during the pandemic, he developed a drug problem. So he's like, I can't go to Ibiza.
Temptation.
Yeah, not a temptation. It's because he wants to take loads of drugs. And he's like, I'm too famous to take loads of drugs now. It's like, and he's like, and this is always my thing. Because like, people always say, because you do comedy, people always go to you, when are you going to be on telly? When are you going to be on telly? And you're like, I'm never going to be on telly. People go, why do you want to be on telly? It's like, because then I can't piss myself in Benidorm twice a year. That's what I do now. That's what I do.
Dream big.
No, I go to Benidorm every year, at least once a year. I dribble a lot when I piss, and when I'm pissed, I don't care. I get terrible FOMO. I put it back in too early, and I dribble too much. And I can't do that if I'm famous, so I have no ambitions to reach any level of fame.
Imagine not doing live at the Apollo, not because you're not a good enough comedian for it or anything, but because you're scared to death of not being able to fucking piss yourself.
Yeah.
That's so fucking tragic.
Unfortunately,
you're worried about like pissing yourself and losing your dignity. It's like you feel as though you keep your dignity by no one knowing who you are. But you're still losing your dignity.
Well, yeah, suppose, but no, because I'm scared of not having that good time.
Yeah, okay.
That's what it is.
That's the barometer.
Like, yeah, I'm scared of like if I have to go on holiday and be reserved, then I'm not going to be the same.
Have you ever been like recognised out in the open when you haven't?
Yeah,
wanted
loads
to
of
be?
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when I haven't wanted to be. Trying to think when I haven't. No, it's not really because it doesn't happen enough.
Yeah.
For it to happen in any awkward places. One fella did try and sell me Sky. I went, I know you. I went to you, yeah, and he's like, yeah, like, I've seen your podcast and that, and I was like, and he's like, do you want Sky? And I was like, it's all right, mate, we've got it. And he goes, well, just cancel it, right? And then it was, yeah, whose name's it in? It's yours or your wife's? It's like, it's my wife's. He's like, well, just cancel it, right? And then just put it in your name, and I'll get you the cheap for like a year. And I was like, are you allowed to do that? And he went, no, but I know you don't. I know you're up for stuff like that. And I was, yeah.
And then you necked him.
I wasn't pissed.
What's up, guys? The podcast is growing and we're dead happy, but we need your help.
What we need is for you to start sending us in your most embarrassing moments, the worst things that you've ever done to yourself or someone else, and most importantly, what you want to get off your chest.
So email us in at spreadnegativitypod@gmail.com, and if it's not shit, we'll read it out in a future episode. But I've got faith in you. It'll be fine. Pause it here. Go and send us something in, and then we'll read it out. Do it.
And as always, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, give us 5-star ratings on all the platforms that'll let you do it. It just means that more people will find us, and it's a big, big help.
Like we said, the podcast is growing quicker than we expected, and we're buzzing with the support. We really are, but we want to grow bigger. If you can, please keep telling your friends about us. Drop the link to the episode into your group chats and help us spread more negativity. You're the greatest. We love you. Let's get back to the episode.
I just think it's funny. It's not that like I'm attracted to men. I just think it's definitely. I don't understand why people are taboo about it, because it's like it means nothing. Like I'm fully comfortable with my sexuality.
I feel that
it
way.
wouldn't. Yeah, it means
There's
nothing.
like videos going around on like Instagram and shit at the minute, and it's like it's just two young lads who are like 18 or whatever, and a guy will just be out there with a fucking microphone in the middle of Manchester, and he's going, "Will you kiss him for 100 quid?"
Yeah.
And they stand there like fucking dillying about it for like
I wouldn't
fucking
hesitate. Yeah,
2 minutes. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
50 quid each.
Yeah, I'd do
As long as I don't have to
anything
close
for
my eyes, then yeah.
Yeah, you want to see it the whole
Yeah,
time.
it's
Yeah,
only-
yeah.
Like,
It's only gay if you close your eyes, isn't it?
I'd do anything for. It's like we've talked about OnlyFans. How like if I could fucking do OnlyFans,
Yeah.
if people would buy it, I fucking
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
would do it.
I'm like that. I'm a bit like.
I saw a fucking documentary the other night. It was one of those stupid like. It's like ITV where they send someone out who's been on Love Island. to,
Yeah,
like,
we
go-
watched
go
it, me and
into,
Beth.
like, did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like
like
200 grand a month. Are you all right?
Oh,
I
like,
was sat there nudging her. Like, we've got Wi-Fi. What are you waiting for?
Oh, someone on OnlyFans earning 200 grand a month.
yeah, she
Yeah,
was
something stupid.
So she
20
was
grand probably. I probably
meeting loads of
overshot
different
it, but-
people who did it,
Yeah.
and like seeing how much they earned and what the process was and how they make the money. And one of them, it was like they made most of their money from like personal requests.
Yeah.
And she was built like she had fucking grok
Yeah,
privilege, and it was
yeah.
like a niche. So she was like, but they came to visit her on a day when she was filming Popeye themed content because someone had requested Popeye themed content, and
The
her mate
guy
was in the kitchen wilting spinach and pouring it back into the can. And she was trying to like pour it on top of us seductively, and it just swatted her in the face.
I'm willing to bet my life that was Paul Smith.
I'm laughing at
concept.
that, but I'm known amongst my mates for like really liking not contemporary, topical porn.
Topical.
So like
Fucking Boris has resigned. Porn.
not
Not
not news topical, but like if something's happening in our lives, I'll try and find porn about it. It's just like
So you can relate.
Yeah, it's just so like
As in car crash porn because you
yeah, it's like
Ford Fiesta off a week
basically
ago.
sort of like yeah. So say like what was it? What, I'm trying to think what the last one was. Yeah, basically I think when we were in Benidorm, I was trying to find Benidorm porn. And I was just
Which I bet
because
wasn't that
I
difficult.
really like the idea. With me in porn, I can
I'm
only.
terrified of what results that brings back.
I can only like my favorite porn's the porn you can put yourself in. So I like it with porn
I'm
with
the
a story
opposite.
and all that. So I like to see myself in the characters. So like say if I'm Benidorm and I can find Benidorm porn fucking all day. So like when Fake Taxi came out, I had to have 2 weeks off. It was too much for me. I've had to stop watching it because it's like it's too real now. Like I really like yeah. I don't know why. I just always really like.
Okay, so
Fuck it
if you ever find yourself on cuckold porn, which one are you?
Oh, I'm always see. I don't like cuckold porn because I put myself as being the one who's shagging the bird, not the one who's getting cuckolded, and then I feel bad.
Bad for him, yeah.
So I can't do it. Yeah, and like I'm because I'm not into that. I can't watch it. It's like same as like I find it. I can't watch porn where lads have got 2 big dicks. If the dick's too big, it's like
Makes
oh
you
no.
feel sad.
Like, yeah, it's too much of a reach.
Yeah.
Like if they got an okay size, decent dick, I'd be like, oh, well, that's not much. It's a bit bigger than mine, obviously, but I can pretend, I can imagine. But to make a massive dick, it's like, I'm never reaching, I'm never getting to that level. It doesn't matter what I do, I'm never getting to that level. So, so the dick's too big, it puts me off. Yeah.
So like, if you go off for like a day trip to like Wallasey and that, do you watch like wool porn?
I would try to, yeah.
Yeah, you
I would
try
try.
and
Like, well, say we went on a day trip to Wallasey. Like, say you went to fair, I'd be looking for fairground porn and stuff like that. Like,
Alton Towers porn.
yeah, I would. Like,
Just loads of amputees.
yeah. It's like if we're going to a wedding. It's like if we're going to a wedding the week before the wedding, I'll be watching loads of wedding porn.
Were you shagging the bride or the bridesmaids?
It depends on the porn. I get myself into it. Sometimes I'm the best man. Sometimes I'm just a normal groomsman. Sometimes I'm one of the guests shagging the bride. It all depends on the porn. Like I'm not restrictive.
I don't have the imagination, me.
Well, I think because I haven't got the imagination, that's why I do that.
Yeah.
Because like some people just have imagination wanks, and I haven't had imagination wank in about 10 years.
I couldn't even imagine that, yeah. No, I
couldn't even imagine having an imagination wank. That's how closed off you are. It's too much for me.
It's just too much work, isn't it? Having to think and wank. No.
Like, I grew up, like, just before everyone had, like, computers in the house. So even then, it was like that. I remember, like, one of the first, like, fucking, like, pornographic images I managed to get hold of was this fella in our street. Like, I'd, it starting off dodgy, innit, yeah?
Starts off like me when I'm bevied. This is how I know I'm not gay, though, because gay porn does nothing for me.
Oh, you've tried?
No, I've never tried it, but you know when it's in like, it's in like the search engine, like they make it, like, well, years ago, before, now you can choose gay, straight, bi sort of thing. Yeah. But years ago, you should just be on the same search, like every 10th video will be a gay one.
Yeah.
And like, I've never once been like, interested at all, I'll give that a go. So that's how I know I'm not straight.
Not even like during Pride Month, do you not try and find the porn that's, represents the time of your life?
Well, you can find lesbian turns, can't you? So you like...
See, that doesn't do it for me, lesbian porn.
Well, I don't like lesbian. That's why lesbian has to turn.
It's boring, isn't it?
What's lesbian turn?
Yeah, so it's like she has to go straight.
So
I don't like lesbian porn because it makes me feel left out.
Yeah.
So
your wanks are so well thought out. It sounds like graft. It's no wonder the missus thinks you do fuck all. You
said you were lazy. You're not. You're putting in the work.
He's on page 64 of porn.
No. The algorithm's got me now, so it knows me.
I don't think it has. How could any algorithm fucking adjust itself to you? As soon as it does, it's Independence Day, and suddenly you want fucking something different.
Yeah, well, Independence Day, I wanked it in Independence Day. There's loads of 4th of July porn with like barbecues.
I was thinking Will Smith and aliens. I was like, alien porn.
No, like, there's loads of 4th of July porn. Like, if we put 4th of July in, there's loads of, like, where they're having a barbecue and then, like, one of the guests ends up shagging the stepmum. And, like,
kicks a steak off the grill and just starts doing it over the barbecue.
Comes in, sort of thing, while her dad's barbecue and they're upstairs banging something. There's loads of, like let's say, there's porn for everything. It's eclectic, innit? It's like,
yeah. I mean, when I brought up Popeye themed content, I didn't think this is the path we go down. You made me feel like I'm a shit wanker.
Well, the reason I was thinking I can't judge that person with Popeye. If I'd like, if I'd like say I've got like a lad now, if he gets into Popeye in a couple of years, I'll probably end up like, I'll be the kind of person being like, I wonder if I can get that bird's OnlyFans. Have a couple of Popeye wanks, get out my system.
That's just made me worried. Are you on the Paw Patrol porn now, are you?
No. Well, luckily he's just into Disney, so there's loads of Disney porn.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, fucking Nala and
that. No, Lion King, I didn't think of Lion King.
Why is Dad watching Frozen?
I haven't gone bestiality, but it's more like, there's an Encanto one now, there's all sorts. So.
Like with real people, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not fucking weird, lad. None of that cartoon
have some fucking class.
It's mainly Jasmine and Mulan, then we go to. It's like old school, aren't I?
Kung Fu Panda, if you get a bit mad.
I've never been into fairies. I've never like.
Have you not?
Again, I'm quite straight-laced.
I remember seeing like a group of girls on Halloween on like a night out, and there was a girl dressed like the Avatar.
Love Halloween porn, he says.
I love costumes. Like I love it. Like
this girl was dressed as Avatar. She had a tail, and it was like it was doing it for me. I felt weird about it.
Really, the tail was doing it.
Just the whole outfit, and I was like, she has got a fucking tail. Like,
no, stuff like that's never.
Well, I never fell down the rabbit hole of searching.
Fancy dress does a
rabbit hole. You probably like one of them.
Oh, lad,
little fluffy tail and like a Playboy thing.
Genuinely, this happened today, right? And I was thinking about talking about it, but it's just I didn't think there was any way it'd come up naturally. Right?
And then Big Bobby LGBT surprised you.
So, yeah, right. So right, we've got a cat. And the cat brought in a bird yesterday just before I was coming to record the podcast, and I never saw the bird. I just heard it being talked about, right? I come back home yesterday, and it turns out the bird was alive. I mean, Mrs. has saved it. She's one of them. If there's a bumblebee lying on the floor in the street, she'll fucking try and give it a bit of water. She's a vegan. She thinks she's
sugar water
like, she's saving. She just loves animals, and it's like she's saving it.
What does she do with spiders?
Gets me to throw them out the house. Different rationale there.
She's a murderer.
Yeah. Well, no, she doesn't kill them, but
no. Like, so this is my little thing. So, right, I used to be worried I was a psychopath because I don't like animals. Don't care about them. Do not give a fuck. Like, you know, you're saying you've got a cat, right? Yeah. If you told me your Chinese skinned your cat and then served it, I'd be like, what was
why
it?
You asked?
Yeah, I'd eat that. Like I'd eat your cat. It wouldn't bother me as long as it was cooked properly. I wouldn't bother me eating your like. The fact it was your pet wouldn't. I just do not care about animals. I don't understand how people can have animals. How people can have pets.
As long as it was cooked properly.
Never like it never goes into. I just don't like animals, and then I worried I was a psychopath because I didn't care for animals in any way. But the thing is, I'd never kill one either. Like I'd kill one to eat one, but I'd never kill one just for the sake of it. Even to the point where I don't kill spiders or nothing. And then I read that there's a difference between house spiders and outside spiders.
Fuck off.
And if you put a spider in your house outside, you're basically killing it.
Really, yeah?
So now if I see a spider, I just let it.
Just let it somewhere in the house?
Just let it be somewhere in the house, yeah.
I feel sly now.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'll get rid of the web, like, but I'll just let the spider be.
How did it get to your house then?
Well,
like if it dies when it's outside, how did it make the fucking travel?
Eggs and that, yeah.
Right.
He doesn't believe you.
I just don't like. Surely they've got to, got to have a little wander in that.
How far do you think spiders wander to get? Like, where do you think it's come from to get to my house? Like a Wallacey spider.
4 miles.
Come over to tell the spiders and people are all werewolves as well. Like, how far do you think spiders travel? It's like flies. Flies just like I don't know. Maybe this is a false memory, but I'm sure I've once learned that flies will just appear. They just come from like maggots and algae. So like
but that's not just appearing, lad. It's like,
but they don't have to. I don't know, like a mummy fly and a daddy fly don't have to have sex.
Fuck off, I'm sure.
I think flies.
Well, maggots come from food that's gone rotted, doesn't it?
That's what I'm saying. So you can just like a fly can just be born.
I don't think they come from the rotted food. I'm sure a fly lands on it and lays the. Look, let's be honest. The three of us don't have a fucking clue.
No, but
we're all acting as if we have the answers.
I said this could be a false memory, but I'm sure I'll learn one day that you can just a fly can just come. Like, it doesn't have to. It doesn't need a mum and a dad. Like you say, it comes from rotten food. So it must come from like I don't know, with bacteria or something. Starts off and
I just don't believe it. What was I talking about?
Flies.
Rabbit, your cat.
Cats.
Cat brought in a bird. Yeah. And I get home yesterday, I was expecting she's only a little cat, I was expecting a tiny bird. My missus has saved this bird, put it in a box, like left, like the lid of the box, like a big fucking plastic box, left the lid open to give it oxygen and that. It's a fucking massive bird, and it's just like chilling in our bedroom. Like we live with mum and dad, and we're just in a bedroom.
Saving for the house.
Yeah. Fucking.
No, just couldn't be asked.
Well, that's me. I just wanted to know whether like.
Well, we were saving for a house, but we're getting married, so. We just
that's a mistake.
I'm gonna be a fool.
What, getting married? I'm doing it before.
Doing it before, like not having money for the house.
Well, no, we were going for a house, and then we got too excited and booked a wedding as well. But then that house fell through.
So are you gonna be married, living?
Yep, I'm gonna go back to my wife's house. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, don't worry. We've been over this on the pod before.
I'm gonna be someone's.
It's gotta be. You gotta do that before. You can't be like.
I'm gonna save so much money though after the wedding because I'm not saving for the wedding. Do you know what I mean?
How many people you got to going to your wedding?
50 in the day. 50 in the day.
It's a mistake as well. No, it is because like it's an investment. A wedding. If you got like generous mates and that. So you think wedding? Well, I don't know what your mates might be mean. What would you give? Like, close your ears. What would you give for the wedding gift?
It's fucking recorded and he's going to go and listen to it. Are you a monk?
Do you listen to this? I went, yeah, all right, Rob, yeah.
You didn't even hesitate.
Do you listen to them back? Huh? Do you listen to them back?
Well, we got to make clips.
No,
I
thought
you had.
Yeah, I edit the episodes.
He does the episode, I do the clips.
Right.
But you still got to listen back to find the clip. Unless when you watch it back, he goes...
I don't listen back to our episodes. I just make the clips. So I just bang the episode out. Because I'll know if it needs any other points, and if it doesn't need any other points, bang the episode out.
Yep.
And he'll watch it, and then tell me where to put the clips, and I'll just do the clips.
Oh, that's
right. Got you.
So I don't have to. I can't sit there for an hour and a half listening to us talking more shit.
Yeah, it's fucking. We do it in like times 30.
Yeah.
So anyway,
just hit top end.
Right.
Whenever, yeah.
Okay. Then what would you think an average wedding gift is?
I've been to a couple recently.
Yeah. Right. So what did you give?
I've been given like 50 for me, 50 for me missus, so 100 quid.
50 for you and for your missus?
For close mate during the day, 100 quid.
Yeah.
But I was an evening guest for a couple and I gave 50 quid.
No, evening guest is 20 for me.
Really?
I suppose you've got to take into account the cost of living and that now.
That's what would you just thinking like...
If taking into account the cost of living, he's getting a fiver.
No, but I mean like... the gifts, you got to give more because the value of what you gift goes down.
Do you know what? I was gaslighted by the first close mate whose wedding I went to. He made a passing comment about like it being 100 quid per guest. And he made that passing comment, and it got in my fucking head.
Yeah.
And I thought that was normal.
Well, I would say 50 quid. 50 quid for day guests, and then 20 quid for evening guests.
Yeah.
So if you think 50 people, you're only going to get, what, $2.5 grand?
Yeah.
Shit, that.
So I thought your mistake was that my mistake was I invited too many people.
No, if you're 100 people, and then you think some are going to give, like most, I think, like close relatives are going to give you 100 plus, and like close friends are going to give you 100 plus, and then everyone else gives you around 50. Yeah. You're looking at, like, if you're 100 people, you're looking at close to 10 grand maybe sometimes. So people get like 10, 12 grand if they ask for money. So there's your deposit.
2 months away.
There's your deposit back for your house.
I fucked it up now.
Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm saying 50, you're not going to get any deposit for your house, are you?
It is literally just rinsing your friends and family a wedding, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like same with christenings. When you have a kid and you'd have a christening, the fucking our kids sitting on about 6 grand there.
Is that why people do it? Yeah. Because I've always thought, what's the point of fucking christening?
Well, that's for schools mainly, like.
Is it?
Yeah, to get them in better schools, but also you get a little wedge.
But like a wedding, it's not just like how much it costs you. The people around you have to proper fork out by.
Yeah, I hate you.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, Smith's wedding cost me about $3 ton at least.
Yeah, at least though. You know.
Yeah.
But that's not even including the stag, or is it?
No, not including the stag.
Yeah,
no.
so like,
stag's
different.
I've been to loads of stags without having the wedding. Stag's just an oldie, innit?
Yeah,
you just want to get away with your mates.
Yeah, it's just an excuse.
I can't believe you're going to stag. You don't know where you're going.
Yeah, I don't have a fucking clue. Is it?
I mean, it wasn't my idea. I'd tell him now, but I'd just I'd get it in the neck off all the fucking other lads.
I wouldn't. Yeah, but like,
it's not that it fucking exciting.
You're only gonna have one stag, though, aren't you? So
I think so.
Surely,
I'm having 2.
Have you got somewhere you want to go?
I'm having 2 stags.
Yeah, but one's a night out, though.
The second one's like with their side of the family as well. It's just like
that's gonna be like a night out, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't count.
That's just
like a little.
It's just a day out to Fort Park. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a stag.
So, like, so have you got anywhere you want to go when you stag?
Nah, I'm not really bothered me. I'm not that well travelled. I've just booked to go to fucking Barcelona and I'm buzzing off it because I haven't been out the country in 4 years. Right. Genuinely, I don't go on holiday that much because we've been fucking skint for years, and it's only since living with Mum and Dad we've been able to save some money. So like we should be all right looking for a house, but obviously it's a fucking nightmare at the moment. Yeah. So we just thought, we'll crack on with the wedding, get that out the way.
Fair enough. I'm bothered by holidays, me. I go away about 3 or 4 times a year.
I'm jealous. I've always been jealous of people like you, lad. I just never.
Oh, Gianna, that's why you gotta learn to not give a shit. Don't pay tax. Just do
Big Bobby T's lessons
stuff
in life.
Don't pay tax. Sell vodka out the back of your taxi. Just things like that. Find ways to make money. I've always just been a bit dodgy, like not a major, just not on where someone's gonna think badly of you. Just a little dull boy sort of thing.
What's the worst thing you've ever done to another person?
To another person? Well,
just worst thing you've ever done.
It depends because it's all subjective, innit? So like if we're talking like
there was a small child on Paul Smith's stag.
Yeah, he was 18. We kidnapped him.
Yeah.
I've let Paul believe it was him, but it was me. Well, no, it was Paul, but I
Lots of poison in his ears.
Basically, what happened was he was walking out with me and Milo, and we were chatting to him and that, and he was saying he was Scouse, and I was giving him, "You're not fucking Scouse, lad." And he was like,
"Fucking from Bootle."
Well, no, because he sounded like you.
Do I sound different?
But yeah, he sounded like you, so you could tell he wasn't Scouse. but he was putting it on.
Oh yeah.
So he was doing an impersonation, and his impersonation sounded like you. And I was like, well, you're not Scouse, but you're probably second generation or something like that. Nail on the head. His parents from West Derby.
Twice removed.
Yeah, his parents were from West Derby. So his parents were Scouse. He used to live in Liverpool till he was 6.
I've heard of second generation immigrants, not second generation Scousers.
Well, obviously that's why I know you're not Scouse, because every Scouser knows that Scouse not English, so they will count themselves as an immigrant.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So he was like, his parents from West Derby. He'd lived there till he was 6, moved to the Orkney Islands. I was like, that's why your accent's weird. Anyway, we were talking to him, having a chat, and he was sound. And then Paul comes, and he'd just been on his own for an hour, just missing for an hour. Because he was just bladdered, and I think he was just standing by bins, waiting for people to come and find him. He was either that, or he's probably getting pictures, and he hasn't realised he's been an hour getting pictures. So anyway, he comes. He's like, he goes, "Oh fucking hell, that's that Paul Smith." I was like, yeah. And he comes, he goes, "Do you reckon he'll have a photo?" And at this point, me, Milo, and Paul are in the taxi. I said, "Paul, that lad wants a photo. Get him a photo." And the lad leans in to get a photo with Paul. And I'm like, "Grab him!" And Paul grabs him. then he goes, "You come back," and then he's like, "Come on, let's go." And then we go back to Castle.
You just threw a lad in the back of a taxi.
Well, yeah. So Paul grabbed him and threw him in the back of a taxi. But I was like saying,
was he
Paul,
on his own?
Yeah, well, I think he just left his mates because he was so enamoured with the fact that like he recognised Milo, he recognised me, but not like
so he was
loads.
into
Like,
comedy.
fucking, I know you as well. It was like, yeah, but you took me
He
about 5
recognises
minutes.
you now when he's fucking nightmares. Wakes up like, ugh!
But I never bothered with him. Again, that's part of the story. That isn't me because I never bothered with him.
You're on
because he was. I got told off for bullying him, so I just fucking left him because like I'm sick of getting told off.
Did you just get bladdered and find the target?
Yeah. Yeah, basically, Paul Smith told me off for bullying him because I kept having a go. Because I kept telling him, put your proper voice on, stop putting your accent on. Well, because Paul was like letting him pretend to be Scouse. He was like, leave him alone. I was like, that's not his accent. Like, just tell him to talk normally. He's doing me head in. And he's like, he is talking normally. It's like, he's not. Like, even Phil Chapman, like, you know, Chapman, he's
got the maddest accent I've ever heard.
Yeah, and he's like American.
Yeah, where is he
walked
from?
in the kitchen and went, he's not from Liverpool. And just walked out again. I was like, see, even fucking Phil knows. And like, so anyway, but then Paul was like, fucking leave him alone and all that. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, fuck, you'll do me head in. Go. So I went upstairs. So that's not about me. But anyway, yeah. So he kidnapped this lad, took him back. But he was so enamoured with Smith, and like Milo and that he was like, he just fucked his mates off because he wanted to be with us. Yeah. And like, so he wanted, like, say we kidnapped him.
He wanted to be kidnapped.
He wanted to be kidnapped, and then he was like, he was trying to impress us loads by going, I can get you any drugs that you want. And then Paul was like, have you seen how much?
Big Bobby C was like, have you got the date rate?
Yeah. Let's just go. He's going, I'll get you gear if you need. I'll get you gear if you need. And then Paul's like, have you seen how much gear we've got, mate? He went, oh yeah, it's all right then. So I was like, we didn't bring stuff with us. But yeah, where was it?
Worst thing you've ever done, you said.
Worst thing I've ever done. So it's all subjective. So it depends on who you are. Some people it'll be. I had a bit of fraud going for a while. But
you were committing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
You looked at the camera and then looked at me.
Well, because the company who was doing it, who's gone bust now, so I don't think it can get done.
Imagine the porn you were watching when that was going on.
Yeah.
Okay, just Jimmy Carr specials.
I was meant to be working down south, and I was never actually working there. I just get signed in on the timesheet.
Yeah.
And then I get the wage. And then
we've all been there.
I'd split the wage with someone. We split the wage with the boss. So for about 6 months, I was just getting money.
Signing on for a job you didn't do.
Carillion, basically. Yeah, but it wasn't basically, signing on for a job. I was never there. It's like, so Carillion, and they've gone bust now. Like,
I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly.
You were the downfall.
As well, the reason I feel it's bad because the Royal Liverpool Hospital's been like left unfinished for 4 years. And, like,
is that what?
I wondered if I'm part of it. But that's not the site I was on. It wasn't. It was down south. But like that's because of Carillion. So I always feel bad because that I've sort of contributed to that in some sort of way, but not really. But yeah, so that could be like a bad thing I've done.
Yeah,
that could be.
But again, it was subjective in it because they were a £1 billion company. The reason they went bust is because the fucking shareholders hold the pension pot and shit like that.
Yeah,
I was not if you were calling up an old lady or nothing.
No, so I wasn't like.
I was talking on a episode a few weeks ago. A fucking woman. I was in Asda, and a woman made me pay for the bags. I clicked no bags, and she was like, "You've got 3 bags there. Like, what are you doing?" And then made me pay for them. And I was like, "You fucking pleb." Do you know what I mean? Like, you're defending Asda, and you're on fucking. You're on minimum wage.
That's the new thing. I do a shoplift all the time. It's getting quite bad.
It was getting bad.
I've said it on here that I do it, but I don't.
Bad.
I just said it because I want to be like.
I do it bad, and so it's my shoplifting's getting quite bad to the point where, like, you know David Longley, he's quite open that he got caught doing it. I had to call him and be like, "What happens when you get caught? Because I'm going too far now." And I
you were doing it too much.
I need to stop myself, but I don't know today. Like, I can't help myself now.
One of the maddest stories.
Right, it started off because Asda security tag baby milk, and it pissed me off. So now I just constantly shoplift from Asda. Every time I'm in there, I steal something. So today I bought a whiteboard marker for our studio. I bought some envelopes to send out some merch for the patrons, and what else to buy? And I bought
Someone's doing all right.
Bought some stuff. I bought some stuff for me lunch, and I needed some oil for me taxi.
I thought you were going to say for someone else.
Johnson's baby.
That
shine on it.
Because I knew I was doing your pod, so I just needed a bit of oil.
So I needed some oil for my taxi, which was 12 quid, and I thought I'm not paying for that. So I just didn't. So I paid for the other stuff and just didn't pay for the oil.
So you are shoplifting stuff you need, not just random stuff to prove a point, or both?
Well, it's stuff I need, but then like the other day, my bird's like, I'll get us a treat. She's like, see if there's any Krispy Kremes. And I thought, I'm not paying for Krispy Kremes. So I just robbed them.
Did she think you bought them for her?
Oh, she knows. I've told her now.
She's in on the scam.
yeah, she is now. She's like, she started slowly doing it, but like, she's proper goody, my missus. So like, she's doing like £1, £2, and I'm like doing 10, 20 quid at a time. Like.
So when you said that, you were getting like, you'll have to stop because you were getting quite bad. I didn't realise you meant you were still like,
every time
in
I
the
go in
midst
now.
of it,
yeah, every time I go in, I start a shoplift now.
It's only a matter of time before you get
One of the maddest stories I ever heard. My old boss.
Not privilege though, because they only have one security guard, so you stare them out.
Holding the curly whirly, you've just robbed.
Literally today, the alarm went off, and I was like, right, I'm finally caught. Here's the end of it. Didn't even check my receipt. I was like, I don't know what's going off. And it was the magnets on the whiteboard. Set it off, and I was like, oh, it might be the magnets. And he looked, and he was like, oh, yeah, it's not my security tag. And he never once went, can I have your receipt to check what you've bought? Because if he did, he'd have seen that there was no oil on the receipt.
No one wants to bother
so,
you.
And literally, it was literally like, because I was there going, well, if I had clothes and he was looking for security tags, would he just gone, oh, I'll just get them off for you and give me them back? Because not one point did he look to go to my receipt. I was like, it's just
I'd be shitting myself.
Easy.
It's confidence though, innit? Your experience.
It is. Yeah, that's what it is. Go on, sorry.
No, it's all right. Like I was going to say, funnily enough, this is about Asda as well. My old boss told me a story of his flatmate. He was working at Asda.
Yeah.
And all he would do is he'd have his mate come up at XYZ time. He had a little blind spot in the car park or in like the back of the stock room, whatever, where the delivery trucks go, and he'd just fucking throw DVD players. That was way back in the day.
Yeah.
He'd just throw them over he'd throw them over the wall. But the reason this story is interesting is because his fucking boss pulled him in and was like, listen, someone on the team is stealing.
Yeah.
Like we've been checking the stock. There's fucking no money, right? We're really low. We need you to keep an eye out. So he's gone home, told the lad I used to work with, fucking hell, they've pulled me into the office today. They know someone's stealing. And he's gone, do you know what you've got to do now though? Because if you just stop doing it, you're the only person they've told. They're going to put two and two together. So he said, you're going to have to carry on stealing, but just like less and less. So he had to go back in.
Phase it out.
Phase out his fucking stealing. And for the next year.
It's like when you come back from injury and you go, just in 25 minutes. Touch back and all.
And for the next year, he just stole a little bit less each week. And then one day some guy got sacked, so he just stopped just right there. So it looked like that guy.
That's genius.
No, but then if your boss is telling you someone's stealing, then I would just put up a... I'd go, I'd pretend to fuck up and go, listen, I've had a word with all the lads trying to find out, and then straight away you can go, well, everyone knows someone's stealing, so whoever it is must have stopped.
So you're playing it off that you've like...
Yeah, you play it after you've bollocked all the lads sort of thing, and then rather than...
Yeah, but then that doesn't get you more DVD players over the span of a year,
true.
does
Still
it?
got a few more
that doesn't get you more DVD players over the span of 12 months.
Well, it does, because after like 3 months, you just let the stealing come back. That's like, it's the same like cheat. This is the other thing as well. I'm a terrible cheat. I'll cheat at everything.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why the Patreon Monopoly's not coming out.
Yeah. Oh, it is. I've cheated on that.
No one's forcing Big Bobby T to go to jail.
I literally, one point Jordan the Patreon just went to, just for everyone watching. Bonus point if anyone catches the times that I cheat and comments when I've cheated. And Tom Keegan's head went, you've been cheating, yeah? I was like, no, I haven't. Yeah, the whole time. Obviously, I was the banker.
Were you the banker? Yeah.
Taking money out of But yeah, I cheat at everything. Cheat at Uno. Like, me and my mates play Uno for money, and I just cheat at that all the time.
Uno for money?
Yeah.
It's like a
pay everything for money. I'm a bad gambler. But,
you want to see the porn?
Well, that's it.
+4.
As a gambler, I do like to gamble porn as well. Oh, she lost the bet. She has to suck it off. But anyway, we'll get into so like the best time to do anything is when you've just been caught, when they think you've stopped. They think you've stopped. So like, what I'll do in Uno is I'll do a dead obvious cheat and make myself get caught cheating. Or like try and put a 6 on a 9. Like, make it obvious. Everyone catches you cheating, then the next time you just put 4 cards down. Because no one thinks you're cheating, because they think you've just been caught, you wouldn't be cheeky enough to do it again. Straight away, that's when you do it. So like with the robbing thing, like you say, you stop 3 months later, you just go and fucking do it, the biggest one you've ever done.
Yeah, the
they're not looking. They're not looking.
I love that we asked for the worst thing you've done, and we're just getting a continuous.
Yeah, so much so.
None of these. I don't think you've ever. Because it's all subjective. So like robbing and that, I don't see.
It's not bad to you, yeah. It's just
if it's a faceless corporation, as long as you're not robbing an individual or a family, then you're fine, sort of thing. Yeah. So I don't know the worst thing I've done. Ran over a cat, maybe.
Oh, you did that, yeah?
Yeah, but it was an accident. The cat ran out on the road. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I just ran it over in my taxi by accident.
But you were
and then it wasn't accident, but it's now. Dropped someone off, come back round, and there's these 2 teenagers who'd obviously been on a night out, like on the side of the road with this cat who's like.
Oh, you were going to say you run one of them over.
No,
as well.
they're covered in blood. They got the cat off the road, and I pulled over and been like, lads, you all right? What's going on? And they'd be like, yeah, oh mate, this poor cat's got on the road bleeding, just trying to see if we can find like find out where it lives or anything. I was like, oh, all right, yes, well, if you're all right, sound, and then just fucked off. Like, just like didn't offer to like drop them off where the cat lived, and just like got rid of that. I was like, just like, but played the martyr by making out it couldn't have been me, by making out the cat was all right. Probably still blood on me fucking dash on the bumper. I was like, yeah.
And he went home and had the angriest wank you've ever seen.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I've probably done loads of bad things, but nothing that I'd ever. I'm not. I don't think I'm horrible, so I've never done anything horrible bad. So, loads of loads of fraud, loads of selling knockoff. Like, used to sell off knockoff vodka. Tell everyone it was from Marks and Spencer's.
I thought that was a throwaway joke.
No, I used to sell knockoff vodka for me taxi because like when I used to work nights. Did
you make it?
What?
Did you make it?
No, I used to buy it, and like, it was like some Serbian shite, and then like it was obviously robbed from somewhere, and I used to tell people it was from Marks and Spencer's, and it wasn't. Like, I used to say, it was robbed off Marks and Spencer's lorry. It was never sold at Marks and Spencer's ever, and it was just like, I think it was called something drops or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I started selling ciggies and vodka for my taxi, because when I worked nights, I realised I was always going the 24-hour garage or 24-hour off licence, and people would always buy an ale or vodka and that, and then you should do me head and have to drive out the way to go to these places and sit outside. People piss, like, because there's always, let's say there's 5 people in your taxi.
I've been in groups.
There'll be one who go and buy it, and then the other fucking 4 would start talking to you, or 3 would go out, and then you'd be like 2 hanging back, and they'd want to chat to you, pissed, and you think, I'm sick of having to fucking be outside these places. So just any time, wait, can we go to the garage? Like, I need some ale, mate. Do you know where to go? I was like, well, if you need some ale, mate, I've just got some vodka here. Like, maybe make it to old of you want to buy some, and so I'd have the fair, and I'd do the fair, and I'd sell the vodka as well. So,
that's actually genius.
Yeah. So there's stuff like that. Fucking
hell. I love how, like, at the start of this, we said, like, we're going to ask you sort of these questions. Keep it dead lighthearted, because we had a couple of guests sort of miss the mark and go pretty deep and stuff, and it's not that sort of vibe. You're just like, yeah, well, I robbed the Asda and I kill cats. Anyway, next question.
But I'm trying to work out what's bags again. Again, I'm telling these stories thinking, I've done nothing wrong here. Like, sort of like, I'm trying to think, is there anything on the taxis that it's the usual overcharging tourists, but it's fine, innit? You expect it, like.
I hate to be that guy, but I've got to go to a gig, so we are going to have to wrap it up.
Right,
you've done that much bad stuff that we don't even have time to do the off your chest at the end.
What I love is that after every one, he goes, yeah, but I don't know. Like, because he says it and he goes, nah, that's not that bad.
That's what I mean. I don't know the worst thing I've done. Like,
your moral compass has grok privilege as well.
Well, just as long as you're not harming anyone,
except the cat.
It's victim.
It's victimless, isn't it? Yeah. Well, again, I don't care about animals.
You don't class them as real animals.
I don't class them as having emotions or anything. So like,
you're a fucking horrible person. Have you got anything you want to plug? You've been so suited for this podcast, by the way.
Yeah. My podcast, another one podcast.
Sick. Yeah.
Follow me on social media, Rod Thomas Comedy.
So get on their Patreon, you'll see a Monopoly.
Yeah, we will. It's coming out the end of this month now. I hope we can get round to it. I'm trying to think. I want to do the get off your chest now, but I don't think I've got anything to get off your chest. It's all right.
If you want to do it, we can.
No, it's all right.
I've just got a show to get to, but fuck it. So.
Yeah, it's all right. It's fine.
We'll get you on again in a couple of months.
That's what I'll get off my chest.
I guess it's so
yeah.
You got your own show to get to, haven't you?
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
mean.
you can't even disrespect that. Go on then. I thought you were going to say like jokes of the Oaks. You're going to say fuck them. Fuck them. Yeah.
This podcast is just going to phase out, lad.
Yeah, go on. No, nice one for having me. Sweet.
No worries. So yeah, another one podcast.
Another
you're
one
on socials as
pod
well.
another one on social media. I'm on social media. Rob Thomas Comedy.
Sick. Good stuff. Give us 3 things that you hate.
Onions. I do. I can't stand onions. I think anyone who likes onions is a nonce.
And a wool.
Wolves.
Yeah, I don't mind wolves. You're all right, really. Yeah, onions. Anyone who calls himself mum or dad to a pet, I think you're the wrong one. Don't you understand boundaries? I honestly don't think you understand boundaries like that. That to me, I think that should be on a CRB. I don't think you should be allowed to work with kids.
He got me that. I don't
think you should allow me. I honestly don't. If you've ever called yourself mum or dad to a pet, you shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be allowed to work with kids.
Cat mum, I didn't know.
Well, you know, because you don't understand boundaries, do you? Sort of
He
thing.
bought it.
I bought it because of how much of a fucking cat mum you are, though.
Do you say come to daddy to your cat?
Not once
like
have I said that. Promise.
Says it to his missus.
Does your bird say call yourself mummy to the cat?
I wouldn't be surprised if she did, but I've never caught her doing it.
Right, Sam.
I can't lie to you, Rob.
I just think
she might have done
onions. You know Fred West, right? You know when Fred West.
Him. We hate him.
When Fred West got arrested, he was eating an onion like an apple. So like, I think anyone who likes onions now, I think you're judged by the company you keep, aren't you? So yeah. What else do I eat? Grasses. I thought I just grassed on myself for an hour. What's the third thing I ate? See, here's the thing. I don't eat anything, but I ate loads as well. I'm a bad football snob. So yeah, that's what the third thing I ate is part-time football fan, like casual football fans. Because I'm a bad football. I'm such a bad football snob. I'll judge people. So first thing I'll judge like the team you support, which is fine. Like, if local team or your dad's team. If it's not one of them, I hate straight away. Like I immediately, because I won't talk to people about football unless they've passed like certain tests with me, which is stuff like I just got to basically respect their opinion, and there's very little people like I can't listen to football podcasts because there's no one whose opinion I respect. Like Gary Neville's is the only one that I listen to, because like any others I think no, because I don't respect you. So like I'll judge people for what team they support. If it's not the dad's team or the local team, then they're gone with me.
I think that's fair enough.
And then I judge people whether they go to the match or not. So if you don't make an attempt to go to the match, then I would never talk to you about football, because you're just an armchair fan. I don't care. You're casual. Couldn't give a fuck. You call yourself the biggest Liverpool fan in the world, but if you don't make an attempt to go to the match, then no. And like, so you got to go to the match like at least 4 or 5 times a year with me. Otherwise, I won't talk to you about football.
What if you live in Wallasey though? It's quite far to the ground, isn't it?
You make an effort, like.
Look at his face.
If Muslims can make a pilgrimage to Mecca, you can go to Anfield.